afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday. Where am I at here? We're in a million different places, but we got this. It's Thursday, January the 11th, 2024. It's a brand new year of our Lord, Mr. Black, and oh, don't I feel older. It's gonna be a good year. I can feel it. Or at least that's what I tell myself. It's better to say that than anything else. We got another great show lined up for you today, of course. This is actually the start of Season 7, if you could believe it or not, which is also why I'm feeling old. This is the 7th season of the Technical Alpha podcast, and we appreciate everyone for sticking with us for this long and continuing to support this side endeavor. In a year, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, in a year where many of the YouTube alumnus of our age have begun to leave the platform. It's great to still have you guys around and to be showing us all that love. But before we get started, let me get myself set up on over here and ask the most important question of the week, the first time of 2024. Mr. Black, how was your week?
Been a good week. It's been a very good week. Been streaming a lot. It's been busy, but it's been good. No Pixel. Got 4.0 out. So obviously I have been putting an obscene amount of hours into that. It's working out nicely, and I'm having a ton of fun. And that's honestly been my last 3 weeks. It's not even week. It's been since December 15th. The only day I took off was Christmas. And I haven't really done much else than that. It's just been RP, making sure I still get to the gym. And that's been the show.
Yeah, it's been a huge RP run. My God, I don't think I know whenever a new round, new server update comes, there's always a resurgence. Everyone's excited to see new storylines, see where everything is going next. But I don't know if you thought that you'd be OTT be popping off quite the way that it's been popping off here recently. But it's been kind of crazy. So that's been awesome to see. I haven't had a chance. I'm salty. I haven't had a chance to come and watch and see all of the developments. So I'm gonna have to stop by and see what kind of madness. The last time I stopped in, it was very early. It might have even been like in the first 3 days. Or so, but I remember watching you sitting on, standing around with like a few other guys trying to convince them that you were the next guy or the sixth man or some other like related thing, some partnership thing. That's how long it is. Yeah, the company. Yeah.
I became the seventh man.
Oh, seventh. I was off by a number.
Close enough. I was technically the sixth, like 4 or 5 days ago. Then technically now I'm the fifth. But it's a meme. I'm staying the same.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It is what it is.
You are part of the group. The group. That's the most important part, I suppose. The seventh man. That sounds. You know what? That's like the seventh man sounds like a dope name for a TV series. It kind of like I'd watch it.
The third, the second, the
doesn't
first.
sound right.
It doesn't sound right. The fifth, the sixth, the seventh. There's something about the seventh man.
It's true. Well, I'm glad that's going well. My life hasn't been nearly as exciting. I don't think. I mean, we had our Christmas holiday break, and so that went really well. It was our first time hosting Christmas here at the new place, and so Mom and Dad were over, and we had family over, and we had some friends of M's over, in various times throughout the holiday, and so that was awesome. We just took the tree out today, finally. We laid it to rest. It's been undecorated now for about 5 days, but I only now just today finally bit the bullet and decorated the entire house with pine needles that we'll probably still be finding 6 months from now, hiding under various surfaces all over the place. But we got rid of that, and so now the house looks barren again. I'm not gonna be honest. Like we don't have a lot of like stuff on the walls and whatever. So when the Christmas stuff went away, I'm looking around the room. I'm like, God damn, this looks barren as shit. It looks barren as shit in here. It looks like a poorly constructed IKEA display room with not quite enough stuff in it yet, but maybe we'll end up adding to it this year. Either way, other than that, I've just been chilling. I spent a lot of time battling one of my two computers just literally was dying, and it's still to this day, which is why this podcast is happening on a single PC. Everything is just falling apart on it, and so I don't know how much longer I'll fight it before I just lay it to rest. But for now,
well, speaking of that, that's what I'm about to be doing.
Are we on the upgrade path?
I'm on a whole new PC path, not even upgrade. I'm gonna keep this thing as a backup PC. But dude, I'm building from the ground up, and I want the cream. It's gonna be the cream
of the crop.
Yeah, the new update for No Pixel is a pretty graphically intensive one. I think it's using a lot of CPU, a lot of GPU, and I'm also streaming on multiple platforms at once, which I don't think is helping. So yeah, it's going to be time for a massive upgrade.
Oh, absolutely. Do you know exactly what you're looking at getting? Like, are you just pressing the buy the most expensive option kind of a situation?
No,
is that where
I mean, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to try and reach out to a potential sponsor, and as long as they don't want me to, advertise them for a year, I'll do it for a month. and send me a computer. Then I'd go that route.
You should hit up Asmon's place, Asmon's joint, Starforge or whatever they call themselves, with the dick-shaped fucking logo. They have. Maybe
I will.
Yeah, they Steve over at Gamers Nexus just did the year-end pre-built roundup, where they secretly buy all the pre-builts from HP and Dell and whatnot, and so that they don't know it's them, and then they can do all the reviews of everything without them sending them the best of the best. And the OTK house, they invested in this Upstart, which was an offshoot of a failed company that was a big scandal, I guess a year or two ago. That one, yeah. So it's offshoot of them, and they're doing really, really, really well. So if you're going to do a pre-built, that's probably your safest bet.
What's otherwise, the name of it? Starforge?
I think they call it Starforge. Pretty sure.
Starforge. I'll look it up.
And if not, worst case scenario, if the markup is crazy, I think their markup, I think Steve was saying, is somewhere around $500 which is that's a lot of money. But they do a good job
for some promo,
It's possible. Oh, 100%. It's quite possible. Yeah. So you can try and hit them up for sure, and see what you can get out of that. And absolute worst case scenario, I'll just build your PC for the 9th time.
Yeah. Make a day out of it.
Whenever I build somebody else's PC, it goes well. When I build my own, fireworks and dumpster fires. Yeah, it's just it's my life. It's my life. But that's exciting. That's exciting. The new little PC upgrade. That's awesome. And that's not surprising.
This one now we built this one 4 years ago? 4 years?
It would be about that, because I think you've got a 3900X in yours. So yeah, that would be circa 2019, I think, roughly. So it's done well. And the problem is streaming at the same time is obviously processor intensive for now. We're going to talk a little bit later about why that's going to be less of a problem in the hopefully not too distant future. But for now, very processor intensive, and GTA specifically is really processor intensive. And so you add those two together, and it can be quite a challenge. But yeah, it's good. It's a pretty reasonable time to upgrade, so it's not bad. You're coming in at a good clip, and we'll be able to get something, whether it's pre-built or otherwise, pretty good price, I think. So that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, other than that, it's been good. Just been chilling. I'm gonna be reviewing some games again, hopefully in the not too distant. But honestly, I just stopped caring about doing anything right now, except for just chilling, playing whatever. That's kind of where I'm at right now, and we're gonna get into that with the YouTube people as well coming up here, I think. Okay. But to start, let's start with some hopefully. Oh, we've been invaded.
Podcast. Yep.
Kai. Yeah, we could start with this news, the gaming news, first of the year. December 29th, Mr. Bobby Kotick finally decided, well, he didn't decide, everyone decided it was time for him to leave. And so he is officially not part of the company, which means tons of people are like, man, Bobby's finally gone. It's been 30 years. I wonder if we're finally going to have games not full of microtransactions and poor business decisions. No.
Nope. You're still getting that.
Yeah. Slightly different brand. Same thing. More than likely. I think, like, as far as like the monetization goes, obviously it's still going to be bad. I just want to know if they not resurrect, but if they utilize other IPs more than Activision did. It became obvious in the last, like, let's say 7 or 8 years, Bobby was only interested in projects that on paper somebody told him was going to make $1 billion. Not even profitable, but like it had to be like $1 billion profitable thing, right?
I mean, it's basically the Marvel of video games. You know?
Yes. Yeah. So they had the same kind of situation.
I mean, when you have a taste of making $1 billion or more,
you don't want to go backwards.
It's hard to get that taste out of your mouth. It's like, if you're used to eating steak and lobster, it's hard to eat pork chops. And haddock.
Okay, I mean haddock is let's calm down. Haddock is tasty.
It's
pork
tasty,
chops.
But it's not
Pork chops are ass. I mean,
pork chops are the worst. They're the absolute worst. Nobody likes pork chops.
The amount of effort that you need to put into a pork chop for it not to be sawdust on the other end is too damn high. It's
way
just too high.
Yeah.
Too high. Although at this point where everything's so expensive, eating lots of pork chops. Eating lots of pork chops. So yeah, Bobby's gone. A lot of people speculating about what that ends up meaning for things. I don't think it's going to be huge changes. I think there will be some. I do believe, given that Microsoft now owns them, that they'll be looking for more avenues than just billion-dollar ventures to make their money back. I think they're going to be more open to somebody coming to them and saying, look, this is going to be profitable. It's not going to make $1 billion in profit, but it is going to get us into the green. And I think for now, for anything that Microsoft, they just spent $70 billion on this. If somebody comes to them and says, we're going to make $500 million off of it, they're going to say, go for it. Yeah. As long as it's in the green, you do your thing. I think that's probably what I'm interested in seeing, what titles will be part of that. Not to say that StarCraft will be one of them, but just as an example, people don't think of it this way, but StarCraft was a profitable game. It made money, even though it was a niche game, which is why you're seeing Stormgate be a thing. If StarCraft was not if StarCraft 2 wasn't profitable, the boys over at Stormgate wouldn't be like, man, we should hop in on this.
I mean, it is a business. It's not a charity, right? So like, people do these things to make money. It's not a non-profit.
Exactly. Exactly. So that goes to show that there is precedent for it. So we'll see what comes out of it. But for now, Bobby's gone. No more excuses. That's the thing I'm looking forward to. The developers that were like underneath Activision Blizzard can't just like point at Bobby Kotick anymore and be like, it's Bobby's fault.
Bro, I've got a hot take. A hot take? Impossible. It's never happened before.
2 years from now,
Bobby Kotick is back.
At the table?
Yep. 2 years.
Wow. So, okay, are you talking head of the table or tangentially
he's in there,
involved?
He's consulting, he's doing something. He's there because as soon as they realize they can't make as much money without Bobby, Bobby's going to be coming back and he's going to have some sort of role to play. I give it 2 years.
You know what? I secretly hope that Bobby takes over at Unity.
Oh God.
Walking out of one abusive relationship directly into another. that would be kind of canonically hilarious, although very unfortunate for very many developers. If that was the case, I'm afraid. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, 29th, Bobby was gone and took God knows what kind of golden parachute with him. But he is no longer involved there at Activision Blizzard. In an absolutely enormous dub. This is one of the biggest dubs I've heard in a long time, Mr. Black. An absolutely enormous dub. A 13-year-old Tetris prodigy, Willis Gibson, became the first person ever, and the person is important because we have done it with tool-assisted stuff before, but the first person ever to properly, what you'd call, beat Tetris. By reaching its proper death screen. So the original death screen up to this point for human players was referred to, I can't remember what level it is. I can't remember if it's like 29 or something. I'm going to fuck that up. But it was the one where it maxes the speed out. And any level beyond that, it's all the same speed. So that was referred to as the kill screen because it got so fast that it was almost impossible to keep up with the falling pieces. And so that was kind of where people were stuck. And then it was a matter of how long can you go before, you're knocked out of the game. But this true kill screen is what they're going to call this, I guess. The true kill screen is where you get further than that, and you keep going until new levels keep generating, and eventually the game's own memory starts to corrupt because it's not meant to create that many new levels. And so you start getting minor little corruptions in the game's memory, and then it's completely random, kind of like with RAM in your computer. You know how you can have like 2 bad sectors of RAM? So your computer will run fine for days, and then out of nowhere, blue screen, and it's a RAM issue. And then you turn it back on, it's fine. Same thing, just a couple of like little errors in the memory in the game, and at random, it'll grab and try to grab that error, and then the game freezes, and that's it. Game's over. And no human had ever done that before because it's like fucking so difficult to be able to keep up with that speed for long enough for it to happen. But this 13-year-old mad lad not only did it, but he caught it on video. I think he was live streaming or something at the time when it happened. And is the first ever to pull this shit off. So shout outs to this champ. And it was a great story. Sadly, his father had just passed away a month before. And so he was dedicating this run to try to be the first person to do it. To his father who had just passed away, and lo and behold, a month later, this crazy kid went out there and fucking pulled it off. So hats off to the boy wonder, for making it happen. That's pretty dope. Certainly never would have thought we would have seen that. But have you ever watched professional Tetris at all? Like, have you ever seen like a clip or anything?
Oh yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Like when they used to do hyper tapping, which is what you and I used to do, like trying not to blow a blood vessel when we were playing DBZ, like what was it, Final Bout?
Dragon Ball Z Final Bout.
Controller on the hip and just, which if I did now would be slow as fuck because we're old and dying. But back then,
I still got it. I still got it.
Oh, do you?
I still got it.
I definitely do not. I tried to do that in a game not long ago, and it was like. Just zero speed, just terrible. So, but yeah, then they roll. Have you seen like the latest technique where they literally like they hold the controller and they roll their fingers on the back of the NES controller while they hold their front fingers over the arrows or whatever to move them, and so it's called like hyper tapping or something, or it's called it's called rolling. Is the technique, and that's what allows them to go like fast enough to keep up with these screens, and that's how this eventually ended up happening. So it's kind of fucking crazy. But yeah, very interesting stuff, and shout outs for pulling off such a crazy feat. But Mr. Black, I couldn't start Season 7 without checking in. It's post-Christmas, so the holiday season purchases are done, and they went out of our way to help us with this piece of news. It wasn't just us checking in. They had to give us something else to look at. Star Citizen! We love checking in with Star Citizen around here. It's one of our favorite pastimes. Star Citizen reportedly, and this is just this week sometime, I think, in response to fan requests, has released an all-encompassing package set to ensure you'll forever be remembered as someone with more disposable income than sense. This is a $48,000 mega pack, Mr. Black. 48, that's US dollars, so like 400,000 Canadian. 48,000. $48,000. So let's go over what you get for that steal of a price.
Oh my God.
Which, by the way, in order to even be qualified for this,
do I get a new Tesla?
You have to. Well, if you spend it on a Tesla instead of this game, yes, you could. But they're not going to give you one otherwise. You have already had to have spent $1,000 in game before this option even becomes available to you. So technically, it's $49,000.
So this is like, yeah. So this is basically like the good old like Ferrari or we'll go Lamborghini, right? So in order to buy specific Lamborghinis, you got to own previous Lamborghinis first.
Yes.
Okay, got you. Okay.
You got to already be in the club before you're buying up. Is basically what this is.
Okay. So for Citizen,
for 48 grand, you get crippling debt, but also you get all 187 ships and their respective paint, colors, skins, etc. So it's everything that the game has up to this point, essentially, including weapons, There was other things listed in there, but you're basically getting every piece of content, theoretical and otherwise, that this game has up to this point in production. And you get, well, I have it in my notes, and if you're lucky, maybe a reach around, which for 48 grand, I feel like a reach around is a small ask. I don't think that's a lot to ask, personally. And now we can take a look at the current fundraising goals, which is really what we're here for. This is what we like to see. We like to keep up with Star Citizen.
Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah. So we go over here, we click on month, because I just like looking at the month-to-month expenditure. They only go back like 6 months now. I don't know if, can you see more than 6 months on your side?
It only goes 6 months.
So you can't see the full year. Okay, so it's the last 6 months. So there was a, obviously, large spike in November, which was probably coinciding with some new content plus moving into holiday season. In November alone, they put up another $28 million month, which is just a lot of money in a single month. It's just holy shit.
Basically like 3 packages that they're now selling for the low price of fucking $17 million.
One guy spent $28 million in the month of November, bringing their fundraising total to an earth-shattering $659,215,204 spread across 5,041,000 players.
There is a 0% chance that these guys have not been audited or being investigated by almost every type of governmental, wherever they're like, this is actually obscene. Like, we memed about this 4 years ago, Adam.
Yes. Oh, we memed hard. We memed about it going to like $500,000, and in the back of my mind, I thought I don't know if I believe myself, because that was at like $250,000 when we started talking about it.
Yeah.
They're up 400 million since we started talking about it in this joking kind of fashion.
$250 million. Yeah.
$250 million. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. That is actually fucking insane. If they just took that money and just put that money into an account, the interest alone,
oh my God,
they would make, that's what they're doing, dude.
Well, you have to protect it from inflation. You can't use all this money at one time. Physically impossible.
Dude, this is one of the biggest skamazes, allegedly, that I've ever seen in my life.
Starfleet.
This is actually insane. Like, seriously, Miyagi's right. The first podcast when hashtag third guy was here.
Yes, yeah, Panic was still.
I was giving the game a hard time then.
Because it had already been years since they had like started their shit or whatever.
Yes.
Now here we are in 2024.
What the fuck, bro? $659 million, and there's no game.
Well, there's technically a game. It's just not it's not like,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's no credit. There's no fucking. The shit. It is so incomplete, dude. They're selling $48,000 fucking packages, man. Come on.
Now, I mean, listen. They said that this is by popular request by people that just wonder. It's a dream.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm sure it is. Bro, the fucking people that run this thing, I guarantee you, they're driving fucking Ferraris and Lamborghinis. They live in straight mansions. And they have got all of this money, making money. I mean, dude, you could throw this type of money and it guaranteed, you could put this in bonds. And the amount of interest you will make every year is next level.
Bro, $28 million a month on a game that doesn't exist in totality. The single player campaign is forthcoming. I can't remember if it was supposed to be this 2024 or 2025. I can't remember when the fuck that thing is supposed to be released. But it's like this little slice of because people listen, nobody's spending 48 grand for Squadron. Like that, Squadron 42. Like that, nobody's spending 48 grand for that. People are spending 48 grand for what
they want the big game. They want the vision. They want to spend $100,000 out of their kids and spouses' fucking retirement savings, and they want to lose themselves in the wet dream that these guys have said this game is going to be. They want to just leave planet Earth, literally, and be transported to a different galaxy far, far away. And I'm not talking Star Wars. These motherfuckers are so desperate that I mean, what is this? Are these everyday people, or is this just like one big whale factory where they're just going after fucking oil princes and individuals that can spend dude, it's hard enough to get somebody to buy $100 game.
You know what this is like? This is like watching people that spend, and this exists, it's like watching, Chinese whales in gacha games, where they spend like 50 grand at a time on a gacha game.
Yeah.
That's gotta be like, we're looking at, but this isn't a gacha game, which makes it special. Like, normally you need anime titties to sell this kind of shit.
This is the biggest gacha I have ever seen. Ever. This is nuts. There's going to be a documentary on this someday. I shit you not. Adam, they're going to hit $1 billion, dude.
You know what? I never would have thought before, but now I'm pretty. If you're going to hit 28 million a month,
28 million in a month, dude,
you're hitting
$1 billion. It's
yeah.
going to take a few more years. It's going to probably take 5 more years. They will get there. If I were them, if I was them right now, I would stop. Because you're actually at the point now where I think if you get $1 billion, now you're getting like massive media attention. Like this is already the talk of the town, but you hit $1 billion crowdfunding, crowdfunding, $1 billion.
Yeah.
Dude, this is unheard of. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. I'm ready to move on. This is crazy.
$659 million. Oh my sweet Jesus. Absolutely crazy. So there you go. Star Citizen. The schmaz continues.
Wow.
The schmaz continues. I think it was Miyagi said somebody needs to get CoffeeZilla on this. It's true. Somebody does need to get CoffeeZilla on top of this. You know what? I bet you right now, CoffeeZilla has a file in his room of like all of his ongoing possible investigations that can happen where he's accruing information. I promise you this is happening. CoffeeZilla's already got this shit backed up. He's probably writing scripts for his robot friend and his fucking videos, like the shit. It's on tap. He's waiting. He's waiting for his time to pounce.
Yeah, when it hits $1 billion. When it's at its peak, and it's like, okay.
It's time.
Now let's pull the curtain down.
Yeah.
Pull the curtain. Here it is.
Revealing Oz behind. A lot of headlining YouTubers, Mr. Black, have been retiring recently, and the gaming space is losing one of the most. You've heard a few of these, right? I'm sure. High profile, one of the most high profile of all. This is just in the last couple of days. After 13 years or over 13 years, MatPat, one of the OGs around the time we started, actually, honest to God, is officially hanging up his boots at the Game Theorists, which is kind of wild. This is just my own notes. Kind of wild to think that the industry has been around long enough now that this kind of thing is starting to first happen. And of course, MatPat, he said in his video, he reminds everyone, he doesn't look it, but the man's 37 years old. And it's just time, it's time he wants to spend more time with his family. He wants, even though his significant other, they're heavily involved in the channels and everything. But he said it's been work first for like 10 years. And he said, I want to enjoy sitting down with my, my partner and playing video games, and not having to think in the back of my mind that this is about work anymore. Yep. And obviously he's made his money. This man has four massive channels. Like Game Theorist is just one of 4.
He's made
mammoth
millions and millions and tens of millions.
Crushed it. Crushed it.
He's good. He's good. He's saying, I don't need to do this anymore.
And he's a good dude. Thank God no weird fucking expose has come up about fucking MatPat in this whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's I mean, I know of him obviously, and I've seen a few of his things over the years, but you know what? I'm sure he's probably been feeling this way for several years. Once kids get involved, man, I'm telling you, once
Speeds
kids get
things
involved,
up.
it changes the game. And he's probably like, let me just get a couple more years in, man. Make another 10, 20 million bucks, and I'm out of here. I'm out. Good on him.
It's kind of crazy. But he's not the only one. There's been a couple. There was another one, I think it was a British guy. I'm not thinking of his name right now. He was also really huge on YouTube. Just ended it. He ended it in truly great style. He went out and he said, he decided to himself, I want to do this in the dumbest way possible. So he said, why not literally go off into the sunset? So he strapped himself to a harness that was attached to a helicopter and literally flew off into the sunset. It's just his lifeless body. Hey, it's like a fucking 3 pixels on the screen.
He's just sitting there
And it's just his body. His body
flying off into the sunset
with a helicopter.
Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you got to fly off into the sunset, man.
Tom Scott, that was his name. Tom Scott. What a fucking incredible idea. That is some perfect. It would have been one thing if he was like, arms open, embracing the sun, but it just looks like Beetlejuice when they're in like the fucking like the lineup or whatever, and there's the guy that's hanging from the ceiling. That's basically what he looked like, hanging from the helicopter, just being flown off into the sunset. Oh, it's legendary. Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's legendary. I'm watching the video right now. It's
legendary.
Yeah. He's just flying off into the sunset, man. Just go.
Somebody needs to cut some Creed into that fucking video.
My sacrifice.
Oh shit! But yeah, there's been several that have been stepping down, and I want to have everyone make sure you brace for it. This is the beginning of a massive wave, because when Jeff and I started, and it was 13 years ago now, a lot of people, we were all very similar age, plus or minus a couple of years, with the exception of a couple that were a few years older than that. But most of us were around the same band of age. And like Jeff was saying, when kids enter the picture, as the internet has changed dramatically in 13 years, and how content creation works and how monetization works, it's all gotten significantly more challenging. It's gotten a lot more time consuming. The level of content that is required for a lot of people to still make a lot of money off of it. Not everyone can be some dude sitting in a basement churning out stolen clips on TikTok for 50 grand a day. It's very challenging. It's difficult and takes a lot more time and effort and money. So all of those things come together. And for people like MatPat or those who have been particularly successful and they've already made millions of dollars, like they're set, like Matt's set. So you're going to see more and more in the content creator space, people around that age, 35 plus, that are going to start to look at it and go, either they're going to leave it entirely or they're going to have to like dramatically cut back and slow down. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So just brace for it and just be supportive, because it's tough. Like you watch MatPat, that video is like struggle busting his ass through that video, because 13 years, a third of his life. It's a long time.
Dude, man, that's...
And
not
it's
only
addictive.
that, it's like it is addictive and it's scary. I know this from just myself. It's like, I mean, I could retire and stop doing this and find something else to do, and I've done well enough now that like I could go, work a job or do something on my own, stay in the real estate, or fucking I don't know, like do something as long as I made a certain amount of money, like I'd be fine. But I think the biggest part of it is, number one, you love it, or at least you love part of it, and that's hard to walk away from. The comfort of it. You also know it's something special that not everybody can do, and it's hard to let go of something. And then you have a bunch of fans and people that enjoy your content. You don't want to let them down. And then I think for me, the biggest thing is my identity. Yeah. It's like, well, who am I without this? Yeah. How do I start my life again? Like like I only,
you're not OTT out in the real world.
Yeah. I'm not Maximus as Black in the real world. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's scary, man. So like, they're probably going through it right now, and it'll be an adjustment period. But At some point, it's got to happen, right?
It's true. It's true. It's very true. But yeah, there you go. Big heavy hitters. Leaving at, and MatPat specifically leaving at a high point, which he mentioned in his video. I mean, he said last year was their peak of basically everything. And he looked at that and he said, you know what? Let's not be the one that goes out petering out. Let's just fucking out with a bang.
Top, baby.
That's right.
Go out on top.
It's the way to go. It's the way to go. Next up, we got Twitch is undergoing another round of severe layoffs, as reported this week. It's just in the last 48 hours. It was reported first, and then, of course, Twitch's release eventually followed at some point. As reported this week, they're cutting some 500 workers, which amounts to be about 35% of their staff, that's a fucking enormous.
That's a lot.
That's a big percentage. Like 500 people is a lot of people, but in percentage, you're cutting 35% of your staff. That's a lot of staff. And this is after, and some people might not remember this, but this is after there were already 2 rounds of layoffs in Twitch in 2023 that amounted to 400 positions then. So they've cut more or less 50% or more of their total staff in the last, let's say, 10 months. 9-10 months. So enormous cutbacks. After Mr. Dan Clancy took the reins at the company and has been very clearly trying to find ways of making the company profitable. Because as we discovered with this, it's 9 years deep after the buyout from Amazon. Twitch is still not profitable. So I'm sure, and we talked about this as well. When you see a lot of these changes that you've seen, monetary policy and stuff within the company with partner contracts. That's why.
Why do you think that they're gouging the streamers now?
Yeah.
Right. With these partner splits, they're trying to find ways to lessen the burden. Also, I think them allowing us to be able to stream on multiple platforms at once is part of that, because I think they also understand that they can't compete anymore with Kick or YouTube at a large scale to be buying these streamers, right? To give them very tens of millions of dollars a year for some of them, and maybe even a few million for, good sized streamers that are around. They can't, it's a never ending pit of money. And I think they're trying to find ways, and we've known this for a long time. It is precisely why Twitch has become an ad factory. It's just like you go to any stream, and if you sit there for more than 15, 20 minutes, you're going to see 6-7 ads back to back to back to back to back. And the problem is the streamers, if they don't play, say 5, 6, 7 minutes of ads an hour,
all pre-rolls.
The pre-rolls happen. They don't make as much money. They have to hold a certain amount of subs in order to get a 70-30 split. Their margins come down. Twitch is continuously adding things like the hype thing, where their version of super chats, which I have completely disabled, or it's $100 minimal, which I don't think has worked for them at all. Every stream that I've been in, nobody fucks with that shit. That was just, if people want to donate, they're just going to donate directly to PayPal, or they're going to gift subs, right? I think they're doing themselves a disservice too. They're owned by Amazon. Why can't we have Amazon affiliate links? Why can't we start selling stuff via Amazon on our stream? But then again, that's not Twitch, right? So now you're bringing money from one company to another, the two totally different companies. Just one is the parent company. I get it. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I really don't have the answer. Do they start lowering the amount of bit rate that you can stream, right? Do they start deleting a whole bunch of VODs again? I don't know. I don't actually have the answer. It's a tough thing. It's a tough puzzle to solve. And obviously they're struggling. I feel bad for all the people that got laid off in this wave. I think a lot of the layoffs last year had to do with the economy. It had to do with, interest rates and the tech.
Because everyone's laying people off.
Everyone got fucked off. Yeah, everyone's just got shit on. I think this one might be still some of the remnants of tough economic times as things start to get a little bit better. But obviously it's clear they're trying to cut a lot of salaries so that they could, stop some of this bleeding, the hemorrhaging.
Oh, 100%. And I got to, long before, I have this in my notes, but I don't remember if we ever talked about it on the podcast. Probably not. We might have talked about it off the podcast at some point. But around the time where there was a couple of things happening, partners, unless you were like really huge, you no longer had access to partner help. Like you used to have like a partner manager. So if you had any questions, concerns, whatever, you had somebody that you could talk to and you didn't have to wait like 2 months to get a response. That was like a boilerplate email out of a system.
I had one for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't have one anymore. I haven't had one for probably 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. I lost mine because I'm smaller than you. I lost mine in like 2017, I would say. And it was through an email. They had told me, they were like, I'm no longer, I don't have anyone anymore. I'm handing them this back off Twitch. And they said in the email, they're like, I don't know if they're replacing me with anyone. And that was it. And then the next time I emailed partner, I just got like boilerplate responses back, and I knew where that stood.
Generic ass, yeah.
So around that time, and then not long after that, in more recent years, where they started to add like a bunch of, they just felt like they were adding people unnecessarily to this big machine. I questioned why the hell this website needed so many fucking employees. There's so many employees. Like, I'm like, listen.
I think part of it is the culture, right?
Oh, for sure.
I think part of it is friend culture. I think
hiring
that there's
friends.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think at least that's what it was in the early days. It was a labor of love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just an old boys club. It was just like, here it is. Maybe that's still part of it today. But I agree with you. 1,500 employees to work at Twitch. Wow. That's more than I thought. And remember, they, like you said, they got rid of a large amount last year. Yeah. So you mean to tell me they had like over 2,000 employees?
No, I think they started with around 1,500. I think maybe. Okay. So I think this is after these cuts. So I think there's sub 1,000 now employees.
Gotcha.
They're also, and we just discovered this here. I think either today or yesterday. They're also have been trying to sublet a large portion of their San Francisco offices because they're just not using a large part, and that's everyone in San Francisco. San Francisco is like a fucking wasteland right now as far as like corporate offices are concerned, because they've fucking rented these massive buildings and then they laid off fucking everyone, so they have no one to put in these buildings. So they're doing that, and then also there's this other thing I'll talk about here in a second that I think kind of coincides with all of these moves that Dan Clancy's been making to try and make this website far more efficient than it is. I don't think this is going to be like a Twitter situation. People were talking about this on the stream when we saw this roll through, and I was streaming at the time. I said that when Elon took over at Twitter, and he axed like 80% of the fucking people working there, and he lost a bunch of institutional knowledge. So you actually watched the platform kind of degrade for like a few months before they got their feet underneath them, and they figured out how to run Twitter on the number of people that they had. But for a while, you literally watched as Twitter was unusable for periods of time, or shit was breaking, functionality was fucked. You're not going to see that with Twitch here, because I think the people they're laying off, they're not likely laying off a whole bunch of their infrastructure people, for example. It takes a lot of people to try and run a website that has millions of hours of live video content streamed to it on a daily basis, and keeping much of that video. It's a very expensive business. So those people aren't going anywhere. I doubt you're going to see like these massive service interruptions through this process. I think they just had a lot of overhead of it's probably some HR stuff, maybe even coincidentally some partner management shit. But I mean, really, if I stop and think about it, you're like, that's 900 people. Yeah. What were 900 people doing?
They're getting rid of the one in Korea, right?
Yes, the one in Korea was gone. Yeah,
they've got like the UK. They've got, I don't think they have, they have Canadian. They have US. So they have offices in tons of different countries, right? So
yeah.
I'm sure, even if you think about it, if they have 5 different large headquarters in different countries, each one could have 150, 200 people.
True.
employed in each one. So, who knows?
That's true.
One way or another, it's sad to see.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, man, it's a little concerning. It's a little concerning.
Well, anytime you see a company that you're spending time on, like we are, losing or letting that many people go, it's concerning.
Yeah.
Like, what's coming? Honestly though, I'm personally not that concerned. I like Twitch, and here's why. I already had a feeling that we were going to get a lot of this already when they did the partner contract change. Everything's being automated right now at Twitch. They're positioned themselves so that the fewest number of people are required to do anything. Everything's automated. They're trying to have everything be under a policy so that it is something that they just point to a policy and is done. They don't have to have a whole bunch of people managing a whole bunch of shit. Furthermore, they just announced a partnership at CES with NVIDIA where they are working on basically like, how you can multi-channel audio to Twitch so that live audio is one thing and VOD audio is another thing. So essentially what they're doing is they're working with NVIDIA to come up with a way to multi-channel video. And with using that kind of a technology along with new encoding processes like H.265 or HEVC and more importantly AV1, that's going to allow people to stream multiple qualities from their computer to Twitch, effectively transcoding for Twitch. So, if you're not a partner and you don't have access to transcoding, if you be able to utilize this, you'll be able to do all of your own transcoding off of your graphics card, assuming that you go out and buy yourself, at least for the time being. This will come to AMD's cards as well, because they already have AV1 encoding and transcoding anyway, but it will come. But yeah, you're effectively buying an NVIDIA card to get on it so that you can do that. And so they're even trying to, like, in the future, it looks like they're trying to shift to even having less computational load on Twitch's end, less processing load on Twitch's end, everything being done on the streamer side. And so all of this stuff is just efficiency and get this to run as lean as possible. And I is it concerning? Yes, but I know it's necessary. You can't go 9 years being unprofitable and not expect the parent company to go, okay, you need to we're pushing
sure.
It's time.
Especially when you spend $1 billion, it's like, dude, God only knows how much money they've lost
in that 9-year period,
over the last decade. Probably another $1 billion, right? Or more. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you on that. It sucks for the employees. I'm sure some of them will get jobs back in Twitch at some point, and then maybe some of them will move on. Yeah. But yeah, tough. That sucks.
It's fucking wild times out there. But in regards to that AV1, when you're building a new computer, we'll definitely, whatever we set you up with, we'll make sure that you have enough room to possibly have a, if needed, a slotted card just for AV1 encoding. Because once you've got that done, like you could do it off your own GPU, but if you just buy like a $250 one that's just for your encoding and just pop that bad boy in, then your main GPU does all the work, one's encoding your streams. And AV1, just to give the easy definition of this, it's going to change streaming forever. I'm just saying that right now, 4K is coming to Twitch with AV1. You can do the same quality with about 1/4 of the bit rate on AV1. It's that big of a difference. It's fucking huge. The biggest problem is that decoding needs to happen, and you need to have specific hardware to decode it just like you do encoding it. So right now, for example, the graphics card I have, it's new, I can watch AV1 content, but you would not be able to because your graphics card does not support AV1. So until they come up with workarounds for that, and until adoption rates for AV1, on phones specific, this is what they're really worried about. It's fucking phone. Fuck a computer. As soon as this becomes no longer a problem, you'll see more and more of it, and it will change the streaming game forever. It's a wild tech. It's one of the most exciting things to happen in this industry since we've started. But yeah, there you go. So that's that. And unfortunately for Twitch, Twitch's ex-employees now, all the best to you guys and gals. Most of these people are going to be able to get another job, but some of them takes a long time, and it's not a good time to be taking a long time to get another job. I will say this. At least they waited until after Christmas.
Yep. That's nice.
Some companies we've seen in the last couple of years, like literally 3 days before Christmas.
They act you 3 days before Christmas. Yeah. Merry Christmas. Bye. You're fucked. Yeah. You will not enjoy your holiday season.
Fucking wild. Not far behind. Just to cap this off, Discord announced today, about 30 minutes before the podcast, they're also laying off 17% of their company, which is about 170 people, admitting they just said outright, they said, look, we just literally hired too many people too quickly in the last couple of years.
Makes sense.
Too many. Yeah. I think that was most tech companies in general. Everyone was just
you had a huge cash
growth hungry. Growth hungry.
It is what it is, right? It's like, hey, we'll hire them all if we need to. We'll fire them later. I know it's an awful way of looking at it, but it's corporate.
Oh yeah,
corporate
for sure.
America.
Yeah, it's just the way she goes. And that's it, actually, for gaming news. That's all we've got, which means, Mr. Black, it's time. You might be rusty, but I'm sure you got it in you.
Hey.
I got
my new Nintendo Switch.
Shit. With gaming news. Okay, so how's that? New Nintendo Switch OLED? Switch?
OLED. Yep.
All right, how is it?
It's got a little extra special sauce. I won't get into it.
Right.
But I will say I've already beaten 2 games. So,
shit.
After I play video games all day for the public viewing's pleasure, I then lay in bed and play more. The good thing is, Kayla has my old Switch, and she's been playing her Stardew Valley or Starlight Valley or
Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley, yeah.
Is it Stardew Valley?
It's Stardew Valley,
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. She'd been playing the shit out of that.
It's a good game.
Yeah, she seems to be enjoying it. It's got like a whole bunch of different games in one. It kind of reminds me of like Kingdom Hearts, but not as like action based. It's like different worlds and shit. But anyway, I beat which is a game I think you have a Switch, right?
I do.
Yeah,
not an OLED Switch, but I have one.
Dude, the difference between the OLED Switch and this Switch and the V1
it's huge. What's an OLED? It's an OLED.
Yeah, it just looks like a completely different It's like a completely different console. Like it's mind-boggling how the picture quality difference is.
I mean, I don't play in handheld. If I did, I'd probably be way more interested in an OLED. Anyone that plays it in handheld would be like their mind would be melted. The difference between an OG Switch and OLED.
That's the only way I play it is handheld, laying in bed. But the game that I played that I think you'd fucks with hard, Mario Golf, but it's the speed thing. It's like what's it called? Mario. Let me see. Mario Golf.
Yeah, I know. So I played those. I played that game. I think I reviewed it actually.
Really?
I think so. I think I reviewed Mario Golf on the Switch. I want to say I did,
Super
but
Rush. Mario Golf Super Rush.
Yeah, for sure. I've beaten that. Yeah. Oh, it's dope. You're just sprinting.
Man.
You're just fucking like sprinting up the fucking fucking just going as fast as you can.
That game was fire. It was the first game that I played.
Yeah, that's fun.
Took me it didn't take super long. Like I didn't, it took like 12 hours maybe to beat the whole to beat it.
That's a game that's like more about replaying it than it is the length of the game. Yeah.
And sometimes I'll boot it up and I'll just play a round of golf and whatnot. You can still collect things and shit. But I beat that, and last night I beat Crash Bandicoot.
Oh shit! Oh, very nice. Yeah. So how was that? That was pretty good.
It was good. I haven't played a Crash Bandicoot game since PS1, so it was like
long time.
It's the same, but it's like super much more high tech. Like the graphics, the different abilities and stuff you have. It's like it can be challenging in parts. Like there's parts of the game that are like challenging as fuck.
Dude, the original Crash Bandicoot was fucking insanely difficult. I like the first couple of levels alone where you just couldn't like see what the fuck was coming at you. It's just crazy. It's been difficult.
So I beat those 2 games. Tonight I'm going to start a new game. I turned on, there was some sort of action-packed JRPG that I like turned on that I tried out.
It wasn't like Octopath Traveler or anything like that, was it?
No, I do have that, but it's a different one. It's like I'll let you know what it is the next time we in the next podcast. But I think I'm gonna go with Luigi's Mansion number 3. I think that's the next one I'm playing.
The new Luigi's Mansion. Dude, that got really good reviews. That's supposed to be a pretty dope game.
I heard, and it's I booted it up last night, and I played like the first 10 minutes, and the artwork, it just takes me right back, right? So like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll do it. And there's just been something nice about playing games on my own. Like I can pause it when I want. I can fucking, I can eat snacks and I don't have to worry about. I'm laying in bed, and I only play for like hour and a half, 2 hours a night, and it's fun. So that's
awesome.
what I've been doing. So I'm gonna keep switching it up.
Yeah,
so
you have to keep us up to date every week if you got new shit.
My goal is I want to beat a game every month.
That's a good goal.
That's my goal.
That's
every month, new game, right? Because there's going to be some nights and some weeks where I'm just so busy I ain't got time. But I think if I strive for one game a month, that's it.
Absolutely. I mean, there's some bangers that just came up. I mean, obviously you already beat the new Mario game, but then they've also got like the re-release of Mario RPG that just came out. As well. And so lots of good stuff. And I don't have it in my notes, but I should mention it. There is rumors due to I think it was an Switch 2, but ESRB ratings for a couple of Xbox games that might be making their way to the Switch. So Hi-Fi Rush, which was that music timed action game that they surprise dropped. Do you remember that? It was at like an event. I can't remember which event it was, but they were just like available now, and then nobody had ever heard of it before.
Oh, that's right. Yes. And it kind of looked like ass. Let's be real. Is it? No,
it wasn't that.
Big, like mech things or like those big.
No, not that one. No. This is Hi-Fi Rush. If you look up Hi-Fi Rush, it was like a music rhythm based action game. That was like cell shaded, and it actually ended up winning a bunch of rewards or awards, I should say. Dope. Yeah, so that's one of the rumored, which I think makes a lot of sense if they put that on the Switch for sure. And then the other one was Sea of Thieves, I think was the other one that got.
Dude, this Hi-Fi Rush game looks fire.
It does.
It reminds me of Jet Set Radio Future.
Yeah.
Very Jet Set.
Which, after Sega announced that they're working on that, they better not fucking let me down. They got another Jet Set Radio Future game cooking right now. They better not fucking let me down on that bitch. For sure. But Sea of Thieves possibly going to the Switch. And I think that was the one that showed up in the ESRB ratings, was the Sea of Thieves one. Those are pretty, they both of them make a lot of sense. Like the market for those two games on the Switch, easy money, for sure. They both make a lot of money. I don't know how they'll run on the Switch. I think Hi-Fi Rush has a better chance of running well than Sea of Thieves does, but nevertheless, we'll have to wait and see just how much of that comes to fruition. But if you see an ESRB rating, it's pretty concrete. We'll have to wait and see exactly when that pops up, though. But yeah, a lot of people were like on the Xbox, were like, "Why are you giving it away? Nintendo's not going to give you any games." Money. They're going to make money for their studios. That's why.
There you go.
And Xbox has already shown with Game Pass, they're not interested. They don't care if the console sells that well or not. That's not where they make money. They make money on games. Xbox is a publisher now. They're a publisher.
Yes.
They're not a console manufacturer. They are, but they're not. That's not their primary concern.
That's not their bread and butter. No.
Coincidentally, the bread and butter, the Xbox Series S toaster, which you might have seen on your timeline this week. Did you see that? Yeah.
I did.
Listen, some people were upset with them because, if Xbox isn't doing well, you're not allowed to have fun, right? But I mean, fuck it. They're having fun. You got the Xbox One, like the fridge, the mini fridge. Now you get a toaster. That's just fun. Come on. Have some fucking fun with your life, for God's sake. Now that's it. So unless you got any gaming news else other than that, I look forward to hearing more about your adventures in Switchland. But now it's time to blow off the dust. They'll get the rust shaken out and sell out for the folks at home.
Hey, if you guys want to support the podcast directly, you can go to patreon.com/LagTV. LAGTV. You can throw as little as $1 on there. Great way to support us directly. You can also support by hitting the like button, following, letting a friend know, tuning in every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, where we do our thing. And another way that you can support is through our sponsor, NordVPN. If you guys don't already have a VPN service, now is the time. You can click on the link in the description of the stream, the video, wherever you're at, wherever you're watching, or you can head on over to nordvpn.com/OTT. You should no longer have to punch in the promo code OTT. When you hit the link, it should automatically fill it in for you. You're good to go. All right. If not, you know the code. You can also get four extra months when you sign up as well using our link. And guys, if you don't know what a VPN is, a virtual private network, you can stay safe, stay anonymous on the internet watch different regions of Netflix and other streaming services at the click of a button. For example, if you live in the United States and you've watched all of the US content, or maybe there's something playing in Canadian Netflix that the US Netflix does not have because of licensing issues, you can mask your IP to somewhere, a province in Canada, and then all of a sudden, on your same account at no extra cost, you will be able to watch that content on the Canadian Netflix and other regions as well, if you choose to do so. Also, the biggest thing is you have anonymity on the internet. It's 2024. 1 in 3 households have a VPN. We're in a digital world, guys. Keep your shit safe. All right? Have a VPN. Whether you're traveling, whether you're at home, it doesn't matter. You should be connected to a VPN. The good news is, with NordVPN, you can stream on the servers, you can game on them, stream and game at the same time. It works on your smartphone, both your Android and iOS. It works on your laptop, your Mac, your PC. They've got a desktop app. I mean, they've got it virtually for everything. You can hook it up to your smart TV, and you can have up to 6 simultaneous devices on one account. So remember, guys, check them out. Make sure to click that link in the description. Get yourself a NordVPN subscription, and it's less than a cup of coffee a month. It's affordable for virtually anybody and everybody. Listen, if you've got an iPhone or a PC or a Mac, you can sure as shit likely afford a couple dollars a month to protect yourself, your private information, and have a better internet experience overall. That's it.
Beautiful. And now it's time for
movies and TV.
Mr. Black. In the midst of putting together their documentary on the groundbreaking 3D animated series Reboot. One of the greatest fucking cartoon shows of all time. Made
Animation.
here in Canada. Animation.
Wasn't really cartoon.
No, it's not cartoon. It's 3D. It was 3D animated, it's true.
3D
and the first fully 3D animated show on television. And one of the few things that Canada can point at and go, we did it! But a couple of people were working on a documentary on the show, and the team behind the documentary managed to find the original D1 master tapes. D1 is like the format. D1 master tapes of the original show, thought to be lost forever. Nobody knew where the fuck these things were. And these guys went and actually managed to find all of the master tapes for the original show. The problem is now is that nobody seems to have the specialized equipment required to actually play the fucking tapes. This was such a specific, this was 1994, right? Fully 3D generated TV show, 1994. The equipment that they used wasn't something that stuck around for a long time afterwards. This was like a really specific, almost bespoke type shit. Mark is probably the only person in chat that knows. He's saying holy shit, which means he knows what this is all about. Very difficult to find any working players for this. So they're on the lookout now. So they're searching far and wide for some because there's people for obscure. They've some dude in a back room somewhere is like, I got 4 of those, and just fucking pull them out of a closet.
I got one at a yard sale for $7.
Something like that. So they're looking for it because the cool thing, while this show is obviously digitized, so we have it all. Like it's been stored because it's like it's a historical thing. We have all of the shows. These tapes would have stuff like the animation test files and animation tests on them. It would have stuff like old original IMAX content on the tapes. It would have old video game footage and stuff like that. So there's a lot of other hidden stuff that would be on these tapes that would be kind of fun to pull off of them that we don't have in the digitized version of the TV show. So that's kind of fucking dope. I hope they find one that actually worked.
They will, or somebody will go and recreate the damn thing. You know what I mean? Something's gonna happen, right?
Something's got to give because it's a format I've never even fucking heard of before. I just see them standing next to them. They're huge ass fucking tapes, and I often forget that it was 1994. How crazy is that? I own the series on DVD. I have Reboot on DVD, and whenever I watched the show in my headcanon, I was like, this started in 97. Some shit somewhere around there. This 1994. That was a year after Myst was released. Yep. That's crazy to think. And when you hear the guys at Myst talk about how long it took to render an image that was not moving. Just render a fucking image for the game in the background to be put on a fucking CD-ROM, and it took them like 3 days.
A hot minute. Yeah.
And you realize they were doing full animated, rigged fucking shit for reboots. Crazy. What a crazy time. That was probably a really fun environment to be in, trailblazing back in 1994. So yeah, all the best to them trying to find that. And now I want to watch this documentary. I didn't even know they were doing it, but I want to watch it now. A documentary on Reboot? I'm in. Gotta see it. Did you watch much of Reboot back in the day?
Oh yeah, fuck, dude. I watched a ton of it. On YTV.
Oh yeah, YTV used to be fire. I don't know what happened to them now. I'm going to assume shit now. That's my best guess. Shit. Yeah. Which was your favorite Zone host? Do you remember? Not the name, but do you remember because they had like 4 or 5 different generations of Zone hosts back in the day.
I don't remember any of their names, dude. I don't remember.
So they had there was the original guy was like Phil, who had Zit, the TV, the purple TV with like Phil, who talked with like the purple TV.
Wasn't one of them from Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, maybe, because there was a couple that came in and out of there that ended up doing host jobs in other places and TV
older
work.
Guy, the white dude, he wore glasses. I think he was part of YTV as well. But I don't know. It's so long ago.
Phil. Then the ones that stayed the longest were like Sugar and Carlos. Those like that duo. Sugar was like the 4'10" girl with like the anime ass sound and fucking high pitched voice. And then there was Carlos stayed for a long time. Original was PJ Jen. Oh, I thought the original was Phil. He must have come right after. Anyway, YTV used to be dope. That was like some underground shit. They had like The Office, like in downtown Toronto, and it was literally like an 8x10 fucking room. That was the entire
time.
Probably like a $4 budget. Just like paid some dude to come off the street, like, all right, we're gonna pitch shit to children. Go, turn it on live in between TV shows. Anyway, I digress, as Mr. Black would say. Let's move on to the next topic here. Not long after the strike has ended, Mr. Black, SAG-AFTRA, maybe you know more about this than I do, although I couldn't see much more than the release that they just posted, decided that partnering with Replica Studios to develop a new AI voice agreement. They decided that was a good idea. So I read the release. It says a whole lot of nothing, as you might imagine. It's a lot of flowery words talking about how good this is going to be for everyone in the industry, which immediately makes me believe it's probably not.
It's usually pretty horrible.
Yeah, if they're not giving specifics, but they're also like talking so positively about it, somebody's getting fucked somewhere. And so this is
without lube. Either.
Oh, dry. Yeah. Cactus. Dry. Bite the pillow.
Not even a courtesy spit. Nothing. We're just raw dog in the fuck out of your ass. And your pockets.
Yes, they're stealing from you simultaneously as 100%. You're getting it. Cheeks clapped. So it's an AI voice agreement. It's specific, obviously, to voice acting talent. It just sounds like in the release, in the super vague language that they were using, that it's something where voice actors and actresses are going to be able to license their voice for use through this specific partnership, where they pitch it as being the safe route of AI being involved in production because it's going to be centralized and licensed through a regulatory body of sorts alongside SAG-AFTRA. And all I can think to myself is, my God, these people just went out there for months on end to avoid artificial intelligence basically destroying like large swaths of the TV, movie, music, and otherwise industries. And now not even a couple of months have gone by, and they're out here at CES being like, but wait, Replica Studios, AI partnership for voice acting talent. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see the exact details on this. Lord knows when and how we are going to find out about this kind of the details for it. But like I said, if they're not giving details in the release and they're talking everything up and making it sound like it's going to be a really good thing for voice acting talent, if I'm a gambling man and I'm putting a bet on it, I'm saying it probably means it's not going to be good. Because historically, it's not been good. But we'll have to wait. But yeah, you haven't heard anything or seen anything on it?
Anything. Yeah. I can't add anything to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just happened, so it's not shocking. I didn't know if anything would have popped up for you in the last couple of days, but this just came to a head here, and the release just popped off. So we'll wait and see. Maybe we'll know more in the coming weeks. But obviously, there's going to be pieces on this almost immediately. People are going to be writing about this and talking about it, I'm sure. The last thing I've got in here is that it looks like Danny Boyle and Alex Garland are teaming up for 28 years later.
Yes.
And trying to find a buyer right now. They're shopping it around, taking it all to the streaming services and et cetera, seeing who wants to get on this hype train. They're hoping to create a new trilogy, apparently, and they've allotted some $75 million per film as their estimated budget for this new trilogy that they'd like to do. Of course, if you don't know this already, maybe you're not old enough for this, if you're, depending on how young you are, but 28 Years Later would be a sequel to 28 Days Later, which was a surprise runaway hit back in the day. Actually, Cillian Murphy, was this his first major thing?
It's like his big, this is
his breakout, right?
Role.
Yeah. So very young
map.
Cillian, you go back, very fucking young Cillian Murphy is in this film, and he plays a bicyclist, I believe, that ended up getting in an accident, goes into a coma, wakes up 28 days later, title of the film, and finds out that London has become a post-apocalyptic zombie nightmare. And then the movie plays out from there. They did 28 weeks later, too, I think.
Yeah, they did. That's a fucking scary-ass movie, too. I remember when that shit first came out, because we were so used to, before that came out, we were used to zombies being slow, like, these ones were like the infected, and they would just like run, and it was relentless. Like, that shit was fucking creepy.
Yep.
It was like a mix between Resident Evil or like,
Resident Evil on speed.
Yeah, it was like George, what's his name? George A. Romero's, like Land of the Dead and all those other things. It was like a mix between that and like Resident Evil. And it was just kind of paired, but even the way it was filmed, it was like kind of low budget, but it worked. It felt very real.
Oh yeah.
And it worked. And it was like a huge hit. So
yeah, it made a ton of money.
Dude, if Cillian Murphy gets in this,
oh man.
He's a massive star now,
right? Can you make 28 Years Later for $75 million if Cillian Murphy's in it?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I don't think he's one of these actors that demand $30 million a movie.
He'd probably do it for, what do you think he'd do it for, like 10, 15 maybe?
Yeah, or maybe even less, but with back end points.
Yeah.
You know? Like I think you could get him.
Bro, I'm in. I never watched 28 Weeks Later. Well, maybe I did, but I just don't remember it. But like 28 Days Later, yeah, like you were saying, I remember it being. Did we watch that together? When did that come out?
I saw 28 Days Later with my mom and a couple of coworkers actually. Yeah, believe it or not.
What a group.
I was working at the dollar store back then.
Oh, and, of course, yeah.
I remember a couple of my of the employees were going that night. I wanted to go see it, and they were older. And then my mom was like, "Fuck it, I'll go," and we all went.
Judy was in shambles.
Oh yeah, and she never goes to the movies either. Like, I think I can count on one hand the amount of times I've seen my mom at the movie theater. That was one of them.
And that was the one she chose to go to. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was that was definitely like, I think, where fast zombies, just from that point on, like slow zombies almost never happened. It was just all fast zombies now. Yep. Everything was just got to go fast. And it was effective. I think it was also the marker of like a really freakishly long zombie period where all we got was fucking zombie video games, zombie movies, like everything was a zombie in it. And it was where my zombie fatigue eventually kicked in. And to this day, I see zombies and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Fuck, can we go like, I know we don't get them as much anymore, but could we get like a 5-year period of zero? Like literally just cold turkey, nothing. And then maybe 28 years later. Make the magic happen. But hey, listen, they're getting back together. If they do get Cillian Murphy again, fire. I'm sure it's going to be very good, very fun watch. And I look forward to seeing that come in. I'll be very interested to see who picks it up. Who do you think is most likely to pick this up out of all the services?
I think Bloomhouse.
Who?
Did I say that wrong?
I meant like streaming services?
No, like
or do you mean like production team?
The production wise. What are they called again?
I was wondering I'm thinking
what are they called? It's not Bloomhouse. What is it?
Dude, what if A24 picked it up?
Blumhouse. Blumhouse.
Oh, Blumhouse.
Blumhouse.
Oh, yeah, Blumhouse.
I think Blumhouse will probably pick this up, and then I don't think it's going to be on streaming. I think it'll hit theaters.
Oh, they're shopping it to both. So they're trying to find like a theater, and then they're already planning where does it end up after the theater run, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then if that's the case, I mean, who knows? You know, it might. I don't think it'll be HBO. I think it'll either be Paramount or it'll be Netflix.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be HBO. I don't.
Fuck,
I could be wrong, but
Paramount.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
it just doesn't seem like an HBO type product.
That's true. It does lean more into the like.
I think it's
Netflix,
gonna be like Paramount, like Paramount Plus, like that. You know, there. You know?
That's true. It could.
Yeah.
I mean, Prime. I don't like seeing anything on Prime because Prime's user interface makes me cry every time I have to fucking turn that thing on. It's just abysmal. It's funny, just tangentially related to this, but Donkey put out a video here not long ago. I think it might even be this week, where he was making fun of the state of streaming services. And dude, if you haven't seen it, it's only like a 7-minute video. You should definitely watch it. That shit had me fucking rolling. Just the state of like how fucked, how many streaming services, how fragmented like movie and television series are. Like the one of the best parts was trying to find out how to like watch all the Pokemon shows in order, like even the same series, like different seasons.
You have to go to like different fucking streaming platforms.
There's a website that gives you a flow chart on how to watch Pokemon. It's just like,
yeah, it's crazy.
How have we gotten back to this point? It's so bad. Yeah. It's worse than cable. Somehow we got worse than cable. I don't know how the fuck it happened.
I mean, I look at streaming platforms like cable, and it's just like cable channels that I just pay for. You know, that's the way I look at it. You know, and I only use 3. You know, we use Disney Plus for my son.
Yeah.
We use Netflix and Paramount for Kale and I, and then I'm gonna be honest, everything else I watch on Plex. If I'm just keeping it on.
Oh no, for sure.
Like,
I think that's most people. And I think that's going to go up too because of this exact problem is that it's not that people don't want to spend money. It's that if you make it too complicated, they're going to find an easier path. They're going to take the path of least resistance. So even if they're honest people and you go to them and say, all right, I know that you want to watch, like you have kids and you want them to be able to watch Pokemon. And they're watching Pokemon, it's like the one show they're watching, whatever, and you've got to own like 7 services to be able to actually get them through the fucking series, and you've got to like go through all. Nobody's going to pay for that. They're going to find a way to get that otherwise.
I pay for HBO only when Game of Thrones is on. That's it. Yeah. So when the next season of House of the Dragon comes out, I'll order HBO because I like watching the shit. Like, yeah, I could fucking, download the shit like a few hours later or whatever, but I like having the fucking 4K quality right as the shit comes out. I can just sit down, fucking watch it. I'll do it, right? But as soon as that series is done, yoink, I'm not paying for that shit anymore.
Gone. And that's all I've got actually for movie and TV news, unless you've got something else that's cropped up here. Nothing? You haven't seen any movies or anything recently or over the holidays?
All I've been doing is working and then playing the Switch on my free time. That's it. We don't even have a TV. We usually don't even have a TV on. We're used to like. I haven't even watched like Love Island or any of those shitty reality TV shows.
The detox on Love Island is real.
Yep.
That's okay. You're building it up, and when you go back,
stamina's getting rebuilt, and then I'll binge again. But right now, I'm on my Nintendo Switch tip.
So I can't remember if we talked about it because it's been. Did you see that Godzilla film? The
No, I'm waiting for it to come on streaming, and then I'm just gonna watch it here.
Yeah, because I've heard so many good things about that movie.
Oh, bro. And I really want to see it in IMAX. I don't even know if it's still playing. And the thing is, I got $200 in fucking movie gift cards that I got for Christmas, like for the theater.
You haven't used anything
And I haven't used anything because I think I'm at the point now where it's like my son is at that age where he likes to go to the movie theaters. Like we've been there a couple of times. And like, dude, I take Kayla and Kai to the movies.
So you got
it's
two trips on
outing.
You do 2 trips on that.
It's $100. It's $100 fucking dollars.
Isn't that fucking crazy, bro? Isn't that insane?
Joking. You know,
like,
three movie tickets. You know, like my son gets cheaper, but cheaper for my son is like $8. You know, and you got like Kayla and I. You know, you're looking at like $17 a ticket, and then of course you know you get a little kids meal, and then we each get popcorn or maybe a poutine or something. It's $100.
Is it getting to the point? Do you think where you know? Where it's almost better that when you do that kind of a thing as a family, you spend a couple extra bucks and you just go to dinner before and eat and have your food then and then just go into the theater.
Yes, but at the same time, Adam, number one, going to dinner is another $100, right?
Oh no,
like,
I know, but what I mean is like, are we if you take the food cost out of the theater and you just go to like, I mean, because Kai's Kai, so you could go to like fucking goddamn Dairy
but I
Queen.
mean, the cheapest way to do it, the absolute cheapest way to do it is not go for dinner, but to stop at like the gas station and buy a bunch of snacks, or go to the bargain bin or whatever the thing is where you can buy a bunch of candy. Bulk barn, thank you. You go to the bulk barn, you buy a bunch of fucking candy and treats and things like that, and you sneak that shit in the theater. That's the absolute cheapest way to do it. There actually is no other thing. And you know what, man? I'm just that fucking guy, bro. I want to eat popcorn.
You want popcorn and have your shit at the movies.
I want popcorn and I want I want to the drink I can replace. I can bring fucking drink in. That's whatever. But I want my popcorn, and like some snacks. Because that's part of the experience. It's part of the experience, man.
Yeah, I get you.
It's like going to a theme park, right? And just not getting the speed pass. It's like, do I really feel like waiting in line for fucking an hour every time to do a 30-second ride? No, you're going to spend that extra money, and it sucks. But that's like, you just know what you just know that is the price when you go to the theater.
Speaking of speed passes and theme parks, Em just over Christmas break. So one of Em's friends, they've booked themselves to go to Disneyland, and so Em's getting to hear about how expensive it is to go to Disneyland. And I just said, you don't even know. I said, whatever you think you know from them telling you, they don't know either.
Yeah.
They ain't
That's
right.
going to make the Philippines trip
They look
like child's play.
Nothing. Bro,
Nothing.
You can go on YouTube and just watch like Disney families going to Disneyland and have them, they like keep a running total. Dude, the amount of money. And you know what the crazy thing is when you buy a speed pass at Disneyland, you're still only hitting up like fucking 2-3 rides in a day. Because even with the speed pass, you're still waiting 3 fucking hours.
Yeah.
If everyone has a speed pass, nobody has a speed pass. It's kind of the
speed pass becomes a normal pass.
A normal pass because everyone's got one.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking like a family of, let's say 4, because it's like the 2 kids, the 2 adults, whatever. You're looking at like $20,000.
Yes.
20?
Well, Kayla and I, we looked. In 2018, Kayla and I were gonna go, and it was like it was like $8,000, I think, for us, and that's without like spending money when you get there, right?
Yeah.
So let's say $10,000.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck this, man. We're going to Punta Cana. We spend half of that, and we just get fucking drunk, eat as much food as we want. Everything's included.
Yeah.
You go there now, and not only that, for us, there's an exchange rate too. So it's not even. You throw another 30% right on top of that bitch, right? My son came to me there. I was telling the stream this. He came to me there 3 days ago because for Christmas, Santa Claus got him a bunch of Lego, right?
Of course.
And he got like a bunch of like Mario Lego sets, and he's been loving the shit out of it. Like he's been.
Lego's fire, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. He's spent a lot of time with that. He comes up and he's like, "Yo, Dad." I'm like, "Yeah, son." He's like, "Hey." I was thinking, he does this thing, right? He knows how to play me, right?
Yeah.
And what he does is he doesn't ask for things directly.
No.
He suggests things, right? So he's like he suggests, and he kind of lets me say, yeah, you know what? I think we should do that. I'm like, okay, yeah.
So he doesn't ask.
Right?
He says maybe, and then it follows.
That's literally what he said. He says maybe.
Yeah.
He says maybe a lot. And he goes, Dad. I'm like, yes, son. He's like, well, I was thinking maybe we could go to Florida and go to Legoland or something. I'm like, what do you mean, Florida? What's that? He's like, Legoland. I'm thinking, He goes, I'm thinking maybe we could go there or something. And I'm like, what? I was like, who told you this? Right? Apparently, somebody in his class went to Legoland.
Oh
right? And now he's told Kale about it, and he's like, you know what? I'm like Kai, and I'm usually the guy that's like, hey, let's, what, Daddy will do it for you, but I'm like, son, Legoland is very far away, and it's like he already knew. He was like, yeah, but we could go on the airplane or something, and I'm like, dude. I said, Kai, do you know how expensive that is? He said, well, I can come downstairs and get you some subscribers. And I was like, Kai, man.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, he's finessing.
Oh, no.
No, he's already got a plan. He had a rebuttal for my rebuttals. I was hitting him with stuff, and this little fucking dude, 4 years old, is hitting me with the 1-2s, the lefts. He's got the kicks. I mean, this kid, he's got it already planned out. And I'm like, Kai, because if I tell him, yeah, you know what, we can do that sometime. He will
remember
mention
that
this
shit
every fucking day.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm like, maybe when you're a little older, buddy, daddy and mommy will take you. But, right now we're not going to Legoland, bud. Because like it's the amount of subscribers you're going to need to get, son, is
it's a lot of subscribers.
Yeah. It's like,
subscribers.
Dude, what I need to do, son, is I need to remortgage the house. That's really what I need to do. And unfortunately, with the interest rates the way they are,
it's a bad time.
I can't do that. That's a bad life choice. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's crazy. That's so funny. Yeah, it's true. It's insanely expensive. And just watching people go, and there's these families, they go yearly, bro. Yearly.
Oh, yeah.
And
these
aren't wealthy people on average. They're just spending 2/3 of their income on trips to Disneyland.
On experiences, Adam. On experiences that they've experienced every year. Sometimes a couple of times a year. Same with those Disney cruises, man. The Disney cruises ain't no cheaper. You want to go on a fucking Disney cruise? They are going to cruise you to the bank. And they're going to say, take it all out now. Oh, and that credit card, I'm going to need that too.
Oh.
It's actually insane. It's actually
when I saw one of those videos of the family at Disneyland, it was a family of 4, and they went out for breakfast like at the park, and then he showed the receipt at the bottom, and it said like $320, and I said, "What the fuck are you eating for breakfast for 4 people for $320?"
Dude, my whole family.
Is Mickey Mouse on the mimosas?
Straight up, dude. When we go to Disney, which it's inevitable, all right? I always wanted to go. No, well, yes, that.
Just not bought there, but external.
It'll be this. It'll be like
tap
put
water.
In lots of ice. Well, you know what I'm doing? You know what I'm saying to my family? All right, family, we're going to Disney, and they're gonna go. Yeah. Okay. Have you heard about this thing called intermittent fasting? We are going to be doing that.
18 hours, no food. 2-hour window of eating.
We're going to cleanse the palate and the soul and the body.
Bone broth.
We're going to lose weight. We're going to save money. Intermittent fasting. Yeah! That's what's going to happen.
I like it. It's a good idea.
Thank you.
And now it's time for
tech support.
Patreon.com/LikeTV is the place to go if you want to financially support the podcast. As Mr. Blackhead mentioned not too long ago, you get a couple of perks. Chiefly, you're able to ask us for $5 or more a month. You can ask us questions on a post that I put up before the podcast each and every week, just before the show starts, called Tech Support. You ask us questions on that post. We give you some answers in the time that we have. And let's see what we got for our first questions, 2024, Season 7. Hopefully we got some good ones in here. Let's see. Marky Mark asks, what's the worst financial decision you saw someone around you make?
Going to Disney.
That, yeah. That's
just an alley-oop. It was a layup there.
That is a T-ball.
An easy one. And I know people that have gone to Disney and put that shit on a credit card, and they've been paying that shit off like it's a it's a whole
mortgage.
Fucking, yes. Yes. Yes.
Well, you know what's coming door to door recently? Every company in the fucking city that installs solar panels. Yes. Every fucking one showing up to my house.
Well, I think that's probably. I mean, that's another one. It's
that's
pointless.
Up there.
We don't get enough sun. It's no. The answer is no.
Not only do we not like we get just enough sun that like here's the thing. He's sitting there he's selling me hard. I'm letting him do it because it's not. You know what? I'm like in the back of my mind. I was in the middle of throwing the tree out the fucking backyard. This guy comes to the door, so I'm like covered in pine needles and shit. And I open the door and he's like, "Hi, my name is whatever, and I'm here with blah 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 company." And I almost kicked directly into what I said to the last couple of people, where I just immediately cut them off and say, stay warm, have a good one, just fucking peace, close the door. But I was like, you know what? This man's just trying to make some money. Let's let him go through his fucking spiel. And he was going through it all, and bless him, he had it down. He had it down pat. He grandfathered into the excess power thing, Nova Scotia, all this other stuff. He's like, oh, great, amazing. We get the guys in, give you a good quote, because I can't give you any quotes on. I was like, I'm looking for a general, like average. I know in this area, I know what the average cost is. You don't need to go into my attic. You don't need to measure my fucking roof. You don't need to see the fucking. You don't need to just triangulate my position. Just tell me what the fucking general cost is. You didn't have any numbers for me. Goes on this thing, and he was like, it could save you like $200 a month in power, and it's an interest-free loan that it's given to you from the government up to like $40,000 or whatever over 10 years. And so he's like, you'd like $200 a month that you could put into it, and by the time it's all done, you still get like 10 years on the panels or 15 years on the other side. It's all great. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So basically, what you're telling me is assuming zero maintenance in 15, 20 years, assuming zero maintenance, which is almost a 0% chance of happening, then I'm going to break even, maybe, over halfway through the life cycle of these fucking panels, and then only make a handful of dollars on the other side over the course of another 15 years. I'm going to be 60 fucking years old to see these panels make me any fucking money or return, assuming zero repairs. Not only that, but I might not even be living here for 20 fucking years, so somebody else would be benefiting more than I would because they didn't invest in it. They're just now in the home. They just get the panels.
Yes. That's exactly it. I think you just answered that question, Adam.
Bruh. Zonix, tomorrow it's going to be minus 40 in Calgary, feeling like minus 48, which really at that point, what's another 8 degrees? How do you survive the extreme cold? At that temperature, you don't. You actually die. That's the secret. You die.
You sit in your ass in your house with the heat on.
And
that's it.
And, if you have solar panels, be thankful that you're going to save 0.2% of the amount of money that your current power bill is going to be to heat your house in minus 48 degrees Celsius weather.
Good luck.
God fucking speed. I've experienced minus 40 once, maybe twice, in all of our time out here, because it's very rare that we get there. And it normally requires wind chill factor to get there. We've hit like minus 30, and then with wind chill, we hit the minus 40. It's like a minus 30 without wind. You walk outside and it's an eerie feeling. Yeah. Because it's so cold, you almost don't feel it. And that's how you know you're fucked. Like
the air is different. Like it's almost like you can't even breathe. It's like, what is this?
Well, because you breathe and the condensation in your throat immediately tries to freeze. And so it's bad. And when you breathe through your nose hairs immediately freeze. And your eyes will hurt because they're trying to freeze. Everything is trying to freeze. Don't do it. So my suggestion, Sonics, how do you survive the extreme cold? Stay the fuck inside. And be thankful you're not somebody that has to work outside during that, although I think it would probably be illegal to force workers out in those temperatures. Be a little too much. Juminator asks, what are you the most proud of the podcast and what's something that you want to improve about it? I'd say that we're still going this far in and have support financially. It'd be one thing if we just sat down and did this every week and had a couple people stop by and watch the show and a couple thousand people see it on YouTube or whatever. But the fact that people are invested in it enough after all these years to actually still financially support the podcast means that we're doing something right. We're not crushing it, clearly, but we're doing something right. As far as what to change, Jeff and I have talked about this many times over the years. How can we change the format? How can we interest more people? What can we do to make this, better? The reality of podcasts is that you, other than maybe the topics that are being covered on a weekly basis, if there's something that interests you or not, you're just showing up you're having some audio in the background of one or more people that you like to listen to. That's it.
Yeah.
It's background noise.
The only real way to like really blow up a podcast is to either already have a very large audience.
Yeah.
Number two, do tons of interviews with, polarizing people or other people that have followings to bring people in. And I think that's
about it, really.
That's really about it. Adam and I, there are some tweaks that we could do, and we have been making some small changes that could make the experience a bit better. Like I think today's podcast around 2 hours. I think that's good.
Good time.
We're not Joe Rogan.
No.
But also Adam and I kind of use this as a thing to kind of catch up and just fucking chill and talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a bit much, but I get it. But yeah, I think I'm with Adam on that. In terms of like what I'm most proud of is I'm proud that Adam and I are still doing this, right? Because it makes some money, but let's be real. We could probably do other things with the time and make as much or more.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the money. Obviously, it's got to make something for our time, but it's enough that it makes sense for us to continue to keep doing this, and we enjoy it. There's been seasons where I didn't really enjoy it, but things are starting to, the format's a little bit quicker. It's better. We have 5 topics now instead of Adam writing out every fucking piece of minute news he can see. I think we're cooking now, and we made it to season 7. So,
we're out here.
We'll see how long we can keep going.
We're out here. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what my answer to this would be. Seth asks, you walk into the room and your significant other is watching one of their favorite programs. You recoil in disgust. Ugh! How could you enjoy that? What is she watching?
That's happened.
What is she watching?
She's watching, fuck, I don't even know the name of the show.
Dr. Pimple Popper?
No, she does like watching that, and I don't. Fuck, it was this stupid show. It was it's not a teeny boppy show, but it's like drama related. What's it called, man? I'm gonna have to ask Kayla. Basically, it's not The Crown, but it's like a Crown. It's like a show like that, but it's not The Crown.
Bridgerton or whatever.
That's it, Bridgerton. Thank you. Because Kayla was watching that shit. I'd be working, and then I come upstairs, and she's watching it because Kai goes to bed or whatever. And I walk upstairs, and I'm looking at it, and it just looks like the dumbest fucking show I've ever seen, and she's right into it. And
dude,
I literally say, I don't know how you watch
huge.
This shit. Yeah, it's massive.
Huge.
It's massive.
Huge.
So yeah.
Huge. Bridgerton, man, what is M thankfully M doesn't watch a lot of shows that are super cringe. She does watch a lot of movies that I'm just like, what the fuck are you watching? She went on the streak of and she'll watch anything because English isn't her first language anyway. She'll watch anything with subtitles. She doesn't care what language it's in. She'll just turn on a movie and she just doesn't bother. It's no different to her than it was when she was first learning English. It's whatever. So there's always a lot of foreign movies being played upstairs of various degrees, and many of them are really good. I mean, I will say that it's broadened my horizons by watching some of these with her, because I wouldn't have watched some obscure Brazilian fucking, thriller without her choosing it. But there's been a string of them where they've just been like these like over the top, like gore-laden fucking people scream. There was a couple of days where I'm down here and she's upstairs watching it on the TV. She's got the soundbar on, whatever, and all I'm hearing is people screaming and dying for like 4 straight hours. And all I can hear is just like, like people getting disemboweled, and just like shit, like I walk upstairs and I don't even remember what the show was, but it was Japanese, I think. And there's like this monster thing behind a grate, and it reaches in, and it literally disembowels a motherfucker right there on screen, and dude's like screaming and yelling, and intestines are flying. I looked at her and I was like, what in the, it's Christmas time. What in the fuck are we watching?
Should be on.
What is going, this ain't the Peanuts Christmas.
Jingle All the Way should be on. What's going on here, man?
It's just crazy. So, like, she doesn't watch a lot of, like, the super usual, like, cringy women stuff, thank God. But occasionally she does get some, deep into the weird foreign film fucking scene, and some weird stuff pops up. The other one I don't, like, cringe at, like, from oh, how could you watch that? But what kills me more is she gets so caught up in, like, Instagram stuff, and, like, she'll see girls talking about facial care routines and all these other, like, the new, like, diet fads and the exercise routines by people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And then she's like, oh, can we stop in and buy this, and this, and pick this up because I saw that. And I'm like, you saw this on Instagram, didn't you? Yeah. Like, no, we're not buying shit. It's not like nobody on Instagram knows what the fuck they're talking about. They're all selling you bullshit. Stop watching it, please God. Holy fuck. And she'll, and invariably at some other point, here she comes again, it's fucking more Instagram shit. It's just, and I know when it is, because it's like way out in left field. It's some shit that nobody's ever fucking heard of before, zero scientific basis for anything, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna go pick up this fucking shit. Like, no, not happening. Let's see, Puffy Sheep asks, what are your top movies that you're looking forward to or looking out for this year?
Dune 2. Dune
2 for
That's
sure.
It.
Yeah.
That's the only one. Could care less about any other movie right now. Dune 2.
Dune 2, that, yes. That answers on my side as well. But he does also follow up with, have either of you ever used Letterboxd? No, I have not.
No.
Letterboxd, it doesn't even have an E in it. I have to remind myself. I know what it is, but I also forget at the same time. Social platform for sharing your taste in film. So it's like yes, right, okay, so it's kind of like a film-specific little social media pocket on the internet.
I thought it was like a bunch of YouTubers or movie critics that made that app.
Could be.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Could very well be.
I've never used it though, no.
Ace High, we've actually answered that not long ago, believe it or not. Volkus asks, what's your worst New Year's resolution? With the devil smiley face there too. Em asking me what my New Year's resolutions were this year, and I was like, listen, I don't think I've made a New Year's resolution since I was a child. Because the reality is that January 1st and December 31st are 2 different days in a calendar year that are the exact same to me. They do not mark some weird new spiritual growth period. I wake up and I've already got goals that I'm working towards. It's just that now it's January 1st instead of December 31st. And I don't wake up one day and be like, fuck me, now it's time to get in the gym. That's not what that does,
Yeah.
Because anyone that's ever done like a New Year's resolution, I don't think I've known very many people who actually follow through on any of them. Like, they do it for a week and then it's done. Yeah. And then next year, most of them make the exact same New Year's resolution and then they fucking continue on. So I don't think I've ever really like committed to anything like that. But worst New Year's resolutions? For me, the worst New Year's resolutions would be continue to not exercise. Because if I keep this shit up, I'm going to be fucking useless. And now Am's already, Am's put a date on it. I haven't even told Jeff this yet, I don't think. Am's put a date on it. She wants to start trying to have this baby come August time.
Whoa!
Meaning getting pregnant come August. So
when
she wants
married, man.
She wants to, that will also be this year. So that she wants to have all this sex so that next year we got baby coming.
I mean,
the wedding is going to be literally, you guys might make the extraordinarily short list. I mean, we're literally, she wants to just go to the courthouse.
Okay, what the fuck, bro? If I'm not at this wedding, I'm actually going to be
Well,
upset.
the reason why I say that is because she wouldn't have any friends there
Legit.
either. She wants to go to the courthouse and just fucking like do it. Like
Man,
she heard
fuck that. You need some kind of ceremony, for Christ's sake.
it would just be a yes. I'm trying to convince her
Jesus.
real small.
Your parents would be like, what the fuck?
No, my parents did that.
Yeah,
Dad,
but I mean, it's you,
here's
though.
here's a little story for you. So I've told the story about how Danny Boy met Mom at the middle deck, right? I've told that here before.
Yes.
Okay. Mom at the time, had horrible health issues. She's like Crohn's and a bunch of other stuff that's going on. She was in the hospital a lot and on steroids and a bunch of other stuff. She was a mess in there for weeks and weeks on end. Danny Boy went into the hospital one day, pulled her ass out of the hospital. They went to the courthouse to get married that day. That's how they did it. So Em heard that story, and Em was like, "Well, I don't want to spend money on a big wedding. I just want to go and fucking like, do this friggin' shotgun wedding type
Buddy,
shit."
I think she just wants a baby, and she wants a baby ASAP because you know what a wedding does, right? Wedding, it costs money, but more importantly, it takes time. It takes planning. It's a big thing, right? So,
and she just watched her best friend do it, and she was like,
yeah. She's like, no, fuck that. I just want to sign. I want to change my last name, and I want you to fill me up. That's pretty much it.
That's kind of where it's at. So,
hey,
expect an invitation in the not too distant future.
I'm happy for you, dude. I'm legit. That's awesome.
It is going to be crazy because I'm in the midst of applying for jobs, as we speak. So it's going to be career change, marriage, child in the span of like 6 calendar months.
But sometimes that's what you have to do, man.
That's
you
true.
have to
You
go
gotta
into
rip
the
the
deep
Band-Aid
end to
off.
make the change. You just got to say,
Fucking
you know
go.
what? Hey, this is your New Year's resolution, bro. The new job, the marriage,
yes.
the baby.
Well, like I said in my explanation, all of those things were already happening anyway. This is so the New Year's resolution was not needed. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy time.
Damn, you just threw me for a loop, man. That's
It's
fucking. It's
gonna be crazy.
Fucking awesome. Please, though. I mean, it's you. Like, I mean, it's your wedding. It's your day. However you guys want to do it, it's you.
Yeah.
One way. If you guys run to the courthouse and you don't fucking tell anybody you get married, you got to at least let me take you out somewhere. We got to do something.
Yes. Okay.
And I'm not talking about going out. Dude, I'm not talking about just going to fucking Jack Astor's and getting something. You and I, as bros.
Yes.
I don't care. I'm forcing you to be uncomfortable one time in your life. We're doing something. And I'm planning it and we're doing something.
We will figure something out. I've been trying to. I don't want to do just court because what I want to do ideally is I want Mom to do the ceremony because Mom is ordained. She's an ordained minister, right? So she can do the wedding.
That.
So I want Mom to do the wedding. And so like location wise, could be doing it at my aunt and uncle's place because they've got a spot down on the water. They got a big literal run of like fucking 300 feet of grass down to the water. So we do small, couple of friends each, closest family. Like literally an hour long. I'm not even gonna make people dress up for this shit. Like show up in your flip flops, fucking bada bing, bada boom, and then worry about the rest of my life after that's done.
Dude, we got to end the podcast right there. I don't even want to talk anymore. That's it. We've peaked. Adam's having a baby. Yeah, I mean, you're going to start trying, Have a little bit of practice first, right? My problem is I busted a mean nut. And I was like, that's it. She's pregnant. And it was early on. It was like the 3rd session. You know what I'm saying? Start practicing now and say, hey, yo, baby, like, hey, if you get pregnant, you get pregnant. But like, we need to practice a little bit. Have some fun with it. Because I'm telling you something right now. Adam, I'm telling you something. And everybody here watching right now that has had a spouse, a wife, a significant other, right? And they want a baby. I'm telling you, the sex is different. The sex is different. She's going to start doing things that she ain't never done before. Shit's going to get real. You're going to finish busting you a couple. You're going to go have a shower and you're going to be like, all right, honey, let's get a snack. We're going to watch our movie and she's going to be sprawled out on the sofa. No. We got to change the area in which we fucking. It's like, we just fucked. No, we got to go again. This is what's going to happen. You need to enjoy this. This happens only a couple times in a lifetime. The eclipse is happening, Adam. What you have to do is you're basically going to be a recipient of an individual that is going to be used and abused in all the right ways. And you just need to accept it and enjoy the process. You say yes. You say yes. That's it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it.
Oh, shit.
Dick won't be working, bro. You're going to be like, I can't get it up.
The spirit is willing, but the body is bruised. Yes, the quote.
Enjoy it.
It's true.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Because when a woman goes,
women get crazy, bro. Bro, get crazy. She's already there. She's been there for she's been there. But I'm looking at her and be like, we literally have to be a little careful here. We don't have the money to be having even a toddler walking around this fucking house right now.
Listen, when the lady friend has baby fever,
bro,
right?
we had those people over. The toddlers were here.
Oh yeah,
it's game over.
Game over. Oh, it's game over. Money, all this other shit, it's not even part of the equation. Obviously, as the man, and I'm being very general right now before I trigger the 2024 fucking millennials that get their panties in a bunch over there. But as a man,
yes,
there's one thing that we think of. How the fuck can I afford to feed another person? We are struggling ourselves.
Yes.
Let's hold up the fun bus.
Yes.
And then you just see the naked woman and she's like, come get it. And all of a sudden you're like, my mind's telling me no.
But my body.
Yep. That's it. You did. That's it, bro.
Yes.
You're 36 years old, Adam.
35.
35 years old.
Let's not get crazy.
You're almost 36.
Yes.
You're 35 years old, Adam. Better get started sooner than later, my friend.
It's true. It's true. So the idea is between now and then, so we gotta start applying for the jobs. I'm then gonna have 6 months to get myself in shape. Because you want to, whatever shape your body is in at the time. Yes.
Hit them weights.
Some people might not believe it, but there is a stark difference between having a baby on a fucking McDonald's diet and having a baby when you've been in shape to give your body it takes more or less a year for your body to replace every cell, right? You get at least 6 months in, your body's in a different place, bro.
I've been hitting the gym. I've been on the gym tip 3-4 days a week for the last almost 7 months, right? So I don't even have a New Year's resolution. I'm already in I think the best shape that I've ever been in. I mean, I got a dad bod still, but like I'm strong. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm in good shape, right? For me. I'm telling you right now, man, the nut busting hits harder. The sex drive gets crazier.
Everything hits harder. Oh yeah.
Everything is just hitting on fire. Bro, if I were to shoot, if my semen even goes near a fallopian tube, I'll have twins at this point. I'm at the point now where Kayla is like, you need to get snipped.
Speaking of twins,
that's where I'm at.
This is a little scary. There are twins in the family, both sides. My mother is a twin. So there's a non-zero chance here that this ain't one baby coming.
Oh boy. You're going to have a small Filipino family. This is what you signed up for. Bro. Oh shit, bro.
That's all right.
Twins, bro, I'm going to be like, oh my God.
One's going to be a doctor. One's going to be a singer.
You're damn right there. You're damn right. One's going to be smart as shit. One's going to be talented as fuck.
Yes.
One way or another, you're going to be good.
Yes. Just enough white privilege to get us the rest of the way. It's going to be marvelous. Living in the future. And on that mildly offensive note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end the podcast. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, hit the follow button on whatever platform that you're watching this mad bullshit on. Jeff and I are going to go and record some StarCraft content for you so that you can get a little bit of that in the new year here. And we will see you guys next week. Until then, do us a favor. Have a good one. Stay safe. And peace.
Peace.